Welcome to BookBuzz Hollywood Radio. In this episode, we have a special guest, our featured author Dr. Peter Bramble. Stay tuned to hear all about his journey and exciting projects he has been working on.
Hello, and welcome to BookBuzz Hollywood Radio. I'm your host, Courtney Rites, and I'm joined today by a fantastic author, Dr. Peter Bramble. His book title is Overcome, Rite, Liturgy, and Songs. How you doing, Dr. Bramble?
I am doing quite fine, thank you.
That is great to hear. Now, this is a powerful book. I got to read a little bit of it, and the subject matter is very deep.
Well, I'm trying to communicate something that I believe mainly the black community or any community that feels that they're under, if they follow the paradigm that I offer, could rise above it. That's why I call it the Overcome, and offer the Rite and the Liturgy and the Songs whereby you can actually do it. But this book is also a companion to another one called The Overcome, a Black Passover. I did both of them at the same time. One is bigger than the other. One explains why we need to do it, and The Overcome, which is the Rite, Liturgy, and Songs that we're talking about, is the book that shows how you actually do it. Like, you know, you can promise that you're going to get married, but then one day you have to go before a judge or before a priest and say certain words. You have to go, and that's what you call a rite. That's what you call a liturgy. It's what you do to make something else happen.
I see. So it's just like when people say actions speak louder than words.
It's like actions speak louder than the words, but it's kind of a little bit more than that. Mm-hmm. It is, take for instance, in the Jewish community, when a child is born, they have a rite, R-I-T-E, and a liturgy that goes with it. The words, the liturgy are the words that go with the rite. The things
right.
So a boy is born, and at the circumcision, they do certain things. At another age, they do something called a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah. Their words and their actions, and then what's happening is you're changing from one state to the next. And although they're just words, the whole idea is that you're moving maybe from being a child, a boy, to being a man, or something like that. It's kind of like a rite of passage.
Yes, sir.
What I'm proposing here is a rite of passage for black people from believing and talking as though they're still slaves, children of slaves, to the point where we realize, yes, we were there, but a whole bunch of things happened because of the people who went before us. A whole bunch of things, you know, we won a lot and lots of victories. So now we want at some stage to claim on a certain day, at a certain time, that now we have overcome, and we're going to live as overcomers. So, so the rite actually, if you do this right, after that you have to call yourself an overcomer. And an overcomer then has to overcome whatever comes in the future. It doesn't mean that things go away. Racism is, there are all kinds of problems there. But we have a new character that we are overcomers. So, okay, bring the crap to me. I'm going to overcome it. As Oprah overcame and became a billionaire despite all the stuff. The stuff is still, but she found a way. She overcame it. But named the overcome. And so we continue as though we're still in this line of singing, we shall overcome someday. There's a big problem with that conceptually. Because anytime you say you shall do something, it means you have not done it yet.
Exactly.
I'll do it someday. Someday actually can't come because tomorrow can't even come. You know that. When tomorrow comes at 1 second after midnight, it becomes today with its own tomorrow. And that is what has been plaguing. I don't know whether you're black or white. I don't know who you know, I've met you. Okay. But if you think about it, you keep on saying and singing to yourself, that someday you will overcome. Someday you will win. You're really demeaning yourself. And no other race, no other bunch of people have done that. What they've done is, sure, they've been through hell and they've been through the thing, but at some point, they say, boy, we fought and we won, and now we're different people, and we go forward. And by doing that, you create what I call a before and after of your life. Sure, before, that was the situation for us, but then great people like Martin Luther King fought and died for us, and he was dated, and now so we have to change our language. You can't just keep saying as though nothing happened. And you know, so why this irritates me, and it's deep in my soul, is I am 78 years old. I started playing with this concept 40 years ago, and because but I'm getting ready to to exit, and I have children, and I have grandchildren, and I have no intention for any of them, when they're burying me, to sing "We Shall Overcome Someday," because if they do that, they're demeaning me. They're saying I didn't do anything for them. They're demeaning Martin Luther King. They're demeaning Douglas. They're demeaning Thurgood Marshall. All these people who burst their behinds to get us to this stage. If you keep in saying "you shall someday" as if you're going to do it, when they did it and one died for you, it's really scary. So it's kind of finding a way through a rite, through an actual thing you do. Just like you do a bar mitzvah for an individual, I want to do something like that. A bar mitzvah.
Yes, conceptually, Dr. Bramble, you are connecting just like the spiritual, connection of the Jewish Passover, you're connecting this rite with black people so that so there's a point. Like, you are now transcending where you were. Here you are now, and now we're going to do, the overcome rite. And now, once you pass through that, you are now an overcomer. So now you are approaching your life from the position of being an overcomer after you have gone through the rite.
You've got it right. Yeah, then your first life as a winner. I wish your listeners would just Google overcome. Just overcome. And you'll see that just from the Google, the words that are associated with all of them mean that you win. You've beaten the thing that was against you. You have triumphed over it. The reason, if you look at the word overcome, it's really a verb.
Yes, sir.
Now, the thing about verbs is they have beginnings, middles, and endings. A verb catches activities. So you have the beginning, middle, and an end.
Yes, sir. So action word.
It's an action word. Okay, but you see, so it's the same thing with Passover. Passover is a verb, to pass over, to walk over, to overcome it, to pass over. You get me?
Yes,
so now, so overcome and Passover are virtually the same kinds of words. What the Jewish people did, and that's the only reason I use them, I think what they did was so significant. They changed the verb into a noun. They changed Passover, which is a verb, into a noun and call it the Passover. Without the in front of it, Passover is a verb. I'm doing the same thing. We shall overcome someday, we love to sing. No, I want to say the overcome has happened. So we're going to put the in front of overcome, the overcome. So it's already an accomplished deal. And then we have a right whereby we claim that and make ourselves overcomers. And then the beauty of character, Martin Luther King said a beautiful thing. We need to be judged by the content of our character, by what we have to offer. So when you look at, I just love Oprah. As I look at her, she's a black woman. She's not the prettiest black woman, and at one time she was fat. But the lady overcame so much stuff. I want her to be a sample of a present-day overcomer. But he overcame.
That is a great person to really point towards. If you need an example of someone overcoming all of the odds, Oprah Winfrey is that person for sure.
what they call the one down in Georgia there, who makes these plays.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry used to work out of his car, and he was rejected and all kind of stuff, but he found a way to rise above it. And we want to claim that just as they overcame, because they have this character that was won for us over the years. We've been through hell. I'm not diminishing what we went through. As a matter of fact, I want what we went through to be seen as worse than they describe it. Because if you overcame the baddest thing, you're a bad overcoming. You're really good at overcoming. So I want it to be soft. Tell me how bad slavery was. I know it was. Tell me how bad the Middle Passage was. Tell me all of that. And but the other thing that we do in the Overcome Rite is we don't begin with slavery. We begin with the great things that were there before. When we were in Africa and so forth, there were great people there. So our story doesn't begin in 1619 or anything like that. Our story goes way back to Africa, where we had kingdoms and we had a lot of princes and so forth. And then we went through a bad period. But after we fought a lot of battles, we can now claim that through the work of those who went before, we have overcome. We are overcomers. And as we go into the future, we with our children are going to be people who can overcome whatever anybody dumps on us.
Yeah, you have covered it all in this book. Conceptually, the subject matter that you want people to know. I mean, I barely even had to ask you any questions because you really gave people a deep dive into the book just from our simple conversation. Because I've actually been reading some of the book and everything, your target audience, what people want to get from the book, what was your message in the book, all those things you have covered. Was there anything that you wanted to mention before we get out of here?
Well, I want the people to understand that although I want people to buy the book and read it, and they can do that, on Amazon. There are two books, actually. One is The Overcome a Black Passover. The other one is Overcome Rite, Liturgy and Songs. One describes, does the philosophy of it and why we need to do it, and the other one actually offers the rites, the rite of passage, the words that you use to become an overcomer, and so forth. And the passion I have is really, I didn't write the book to hustle or make money, anything like that. I don't want to die and have my grandchildren singing We Shall Overcome Someday, because there are too many examples of people who have overcome for us to then demean them and say, we are nothing. This one other quick thing is, nobody in the book is still alive who, although I mentioned Oprah and them, I want Oprah in the area of having finished, because she's still alive and she could still mess up, right? Yes, sir. When you die, you join the pantheon. The pantheon only contains right now people who have lived and triumphed over diversity and over all the stuff that came to us, the adversity. And those are the ones who we're celebrating. When Oprah dies, she will definitely join the pantheon. So with Tyler Perry, and so with Barack Obama and Michelle and all of those guys, they will join it. But not while they're alive, because they could still mess up. And the thing is, we want to use Martin Luther King as a sample of it, because they killed him, but after they killed him, they raised him up. That's typically man's deal. That's how man does it. I don't know why people can't recognize when the person's walking right in front of them, but once they pass away, then it seems like it settles into their brain to where they can finally understand the concepts that they were trying to pervade while they were actually walking the earth. That's right. I wish people would buy and share the book with others and understand it's a really honest effort of a humble parish priest. I'm an Episcopal priest retired, and I really want this for my people, and I want it to catch before I die.
Yes, sir. And I think that once people hear about it and they actually read it and it gets out there, I think conceptually this is something that I don't feel like has really been touched on. So I feel like it's something new and it's something that anyone could gravitate towards. I mean, whatever, nationality you are, that's beyond the point. I think the message is the same, regardless if you're referring to Passover or from the book, The Overcoming Rite. I do think that it's a message that needs to be out there, and I think it could help other people that are not black, whatever race, understand the black experience from a different perspective as well. One of my favorite quotes is, "The only overcoming that has value is conceptual and spiritual." And I got that out of the book, and that's something that I definitely will carry with me, Dr. Bramble. I think you did a great job on this book, and I think it's a transcendent piece of work. I think that once it catches fire and gets out there to people, it's something that people will really, really gravitate towards, and you did a great job. Is there somewhere where people can go ahead and purchase the book? Do you have multiple places, or is it just on your website, or where exactly can you purchase the book?
You can order from Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's also at iUniverse. Those are the people who put it together first. And it's at most major bookstores should be able to get it for anyone if they order it.
All right. So iUniverse, that is your publisher?
Yeah, iUniverse.com. They're the ones who kind of published it in the first instance. But Amazon is, that's what I'll suggest. And people can also look at my website for the book, which is overcomeblackpassover.com. Overcome, in lowercase, just overcome, blackpassover.com. And that will, and they'll be able to see a little bit more on the books, see how pretty they look. But they're nicer than the cover.
All right. So the book is Overcome, Rite, Liturgy, and Songs, and you can find the book on Amazon and most major book retailers. Dr. Bramble is really going to, I feel like, change the world with this book, and I am very happy that you joined us here today on BookBuzz Hollywood Radio. I have been Courtney Rice. He has been Dr. Bramble, and thank you for joining us.
God bless. Thank you.
God bless. Bye-bye.